Morning, Coach. Quick injury update question. Do you have any updates on Jakeem Stewart, Alex Graham, Chasen Johnson, and Kobe Pepe ahead of Saturday? Thank you.
Yeah, Jakeem, Jakeem won't play. He's not ready. It's close, but won't play in the first one here. Pepe's good to go. Uh, Chasen Johnson, be a game time decision. Look at him a little bit. Moving around pretty good, but we'll look at him a little bit tomorrow as well. And who's your other one? Sorry,
Alex Graham.
Alex Graham won't play.
Thank you.
Ryan Kurchi.
Lincoln, I know you've talked quite a bit about Killian just over the last couple seasons and what he's meant and just kind of his work ethic. I wonder, just kind of seeing him reach this point of being in the starting position, like how have you seen him kind of grow over the course of this time, first coming in as a walk-on, then obviously earning the scholarship then earlier this year?
Yeah, he's just been, I would say, very consistent and steady. His mentality, his approach. He's just really as time has gone on, whether it was scout team, like really anything that we've asked him to do, he stayed steady. He continued to compete. He continued to just work on just his development as a player. He didn't really worry about, I think, a whole lot in the beginning that he wasn't on scholarship and that he was on scout team and that, like, honestly, he was getting his ass kicked a lot at practice. Like he wasn't, physically ready for that, but he was like a battler. You could tell he was really competitive, really tough, like just from the beginning, even though he wasn't ready to play at this level yet. And he's just gotten better. He's learned our system inside and out. Yeah, he's really gotten strong in the weight room. He's improved his body comp, just his overall strength, explosiveness, athleticism. And then on top of it, I think he's definitely become, one of the emotional leaders of the team, the offensive line, everybody. I mean, he's just a guy that the whole program rallies around. He pushes guys. He's not afraid to challenge guys and to get challenged himself. So he's he's a great example. He's that like kind of the cliche that you wish you had 100 of those guys. I mean, he just in terms of his approach and his commitment to USC, it's second to none.
Was there a turning point for him, like when you really started to notice, like, oh, maybe this guy is ready for real playing time?
Yeah, there was a couple of times. Like last year in the season, as we were working Jonah at some different positions, and even some in previous years as we worked different centers or as guys got hurt or were limited in practice and he started to get a few more reps that you start saying, oh man, maybe we could, play with this guy. And I think the job he did last year in the bowl game, with a new supporting cast around him against a, really talented D line, especially the interior of A&M's D line last year was really good. And for him to go in there and play the way he did in that scenario, kind of in his first, real true full game action was pretty impressive. And I think he's quite a bit better player right now than he was in the Vegas Bowl win. So yeah, it's kind of a cool track and it's a great example for both other players in our program and just people all over the place. I mean, it is a, true story of perseverance and not getting too caught up in where you're at in the moment and having just a big picture and just staying at it. And he's done it and here he is.
Haley.
Good morning. I'm kind of curious about how this Missouri State game came together, not necessarily from a competitive standpoint, but more logistically. You get to kind of welcome them to FBS football in a way, and I know you played Missouri State at Oklahoma, so I was just wondering if there was like a previous connection there or just how it kind of came about.
Yeah, sorry, don't Haley, I don't have a great story for you. Just yeah, one of those that we were available in the same weekends and we were looking at different scheduling options as were they and one of those that just kind of organically came together. So I would say the, playing them before and all that is more of a coincidence and having anything to do with it. But yeah, I mean it's you've seen the arc of their program and watching their team play last year, I mean, they certainly, look ready for the move up and got some really good players. And you look at their coaching staff. I mean, it's a coaching staff largely of guys that have done it at some, at a high level at some big time places. And so, they've done a good job. You can tell they're ready for this transition.
Sometimes the answer is simple. Thanks.
Mark?
Good morning, Coach. Obviously, getting the W is the big play of the day for tomorrow. But personally, for you as the coach, what are three things you have on your checklist that you need to see to say, all right, we won the day?
Well, I think the first thing I would say is just our ability to block, to tackle, and then to get off blocks and to break tackles. I mean, those things that you see, obviously you see in practice, but you certainly see way more of when you get in just a full live, true ball. So excited to see our team do that. I would say that I'm looking forward to seeing how our team just plays together. Camp, spring, all that in college football. It's defense versus an offense, or it's kickoff return versus our own kickoff, and it's always our same people. And there's always competition. Well, now we're all going to actually be on the same sideline and playing against another opponent, and just so how we compete together, how we play well off of one another, I think is going to you always look forward to. And then I think for everybody, and maybe especially our young and new guys, is do you trust, what we've been teaching? Do you trust what we've been working on behind closed doors on that practice field for so long? And when we get out in our arena, in our home, in the Coliseum, that shows up, and we don't get guys that revert into old bad habits or kind of lose that focus. So I mean, there's always a lot to want to see, but if I had to pick the top three, that would be it.
And then last week I asked you about the team captains. Have those been chosen yet?
They have, but we haven't told the team yet. We'll let them know tonight in our team meeting, and then we'll release it after that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ryan Karchi?
Lincoln, I think some people were surprised to see Tanook's name as a starting receiver when the depth chart came out. What was it about his performance in camp that really stood out to you? And maybe how did he just get on your radar initially?
Yeah, we had some connections at his high school. When we were actually at a couple of different places that we've coached. Both Coach Simmons and I, we recruited that high school and some guys out of there, and so knew the coaching staff and some people around. And so he got on our radar pretty early, and developed a great relationship with him and his family. Coach Simmons did an outstanding job. Just building that, and yeah, we were convinced pretty early on that this guy had a chance to be a really good player. Now I think with a freshman, you never know exactly, how it's going to play out. And especially when you start talking about, guys here in spring or guys not here in spring and all of that. And so, but he he made a lot of competitive plays in spring, or excuse me, in camp. He competes, he plays really physical, really tough, for a young guy, just certainly kind of looked like he belonged. And we'll see how that thing evolves. I mean, we've got a lot of guys in that room that are going to play, and a lot of guys that we have confidence in. But he's shown enough to us in camp to say that we certainly want to, that he's deserved an opportunity, and I think he's going to take it and go play really well.
Ryan?
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
All good, all good. Thanks, Ryan.
Good, appreciate you. Kind of following up a little bit on Haley's question. When this game was scheduled, obviously Missouri State was transitioning to FBS, which keeps USC as the only FBS program to never play an FCS program. So I'm just curious, is that something that's important to you, or is that kind of just a fun accolade that fans can kind of say as a pride thing?
It's I don't know honestly that I have a ton of feelings on it. I mean, we'll see, kind of like all the answers on scheduling, which you guys are probably tired of hearing by now. But I mean, obviously we'll see how all this different, playoffs and all that shake up going forward. I mean, it's um, you know, I get that it's part of the history and tradition here, so that part of it is important to me, yes. And it's kind of the same answer as the Notre Dame answer, to be honest. Like, and I know it's obviously two very different things, but it's still kind of part of SC tradition. So is it important to me? Yes, it's important to me. Um, is it as important to me as putting our team in the best position to win championships as things evolve going forward? That will always be number one. So absolutely, if we can keep both and do both, then it would be a streak that I would love to see continue on. Yes.
Thank you.
Connor?
So Saturday, the start of year four for you here. How have your expectations for
Nice
the
home, family.
team changed?
Okay.
Uh, Sorry about that. I I guess that wasn't me, so I don't know why I'm apologizing. How have your expectations changed from earlier in your tenure to now heading into year four?
Well, I mean, we have evolved a lot as a program. I don't know that my expectations have really changed any. I'll keep referencing as long as I'm here. I mean, day one when you guys met me, I mean, I told you it was every year. It's one thing here. Uh, I think our ability to meet those expectations is certainly in a different place, in my opinion, than any time in the first couple of years here. So I think with that, there's a lot of excitement, for just me personally with this team, the staff. I mean, what we're taking into this season, and even zooming out just a little bit, I mean, what we're taking into this kind of next phase of this, where you feel like kind of the introductory part of this and the initial building and all that is not done, but there's, you're kind of getting on to the next phase now. I get that, our program gets that, and we're excited about that. So yeah, I mean, I think we're much more equipped in so many ways to recruit, to bring in staff members, to compete, to develop, and then ultimately all that builds up into winning. And we're certainly more prepared to do that at a high level than at any point in the first 3 years.
All right, we'll wrap it up with these last two hands. Ryan Karchi.
Lincoln, I'm curious if you think there's any significance in the fact that I think it was 14 starters that were listed on the depth chart were all kind of homegrown guys, people you recruited out of high school versus transfers. I wonder if that says anything about that new phase that you feel like the program has entered into, in which you're not necessarily relying on guys you get in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at like indicators of, again, the new phase or the progress or whatever you want to say. I mean, again, you can look across the street and see the building going up. You can look at the staff. We've told you, about our plan to build this roster and to build the best one we can at SC. And I think that's maybe the best evidence of all, because it's one thing to just have guys on your roster from this place. It's two for them to be succeeding and be a really important, core part of your football team. And so, no, we've certainly noticed it. We feel that, and it's what we want. And I think it's going to be, I think this is even kind of the tip of the iceberg for that. I mean, I think it's just going to be more and more as these years go on. We continue to recruit the way we are and develop the way we are. It's going to be a lot of that and a couple of transfers here and there. And I think I know that puts us in the best position to be what we want to be.
Thanks.
Awesome. I think you might have taken Mark's question. Okay, cool. So before we close, we are excited to debut Conquest Command, a question from the front lines of the Trojan Army. We are so grateful for our online community of Army creatives, and we're excited to connect with them each week by selecting one question. So our debut question this week is from USCJ. You can follow him on X at USCJ32 and check out his podcast on YouTube at USCJ Lost in the Sauce. Coach Riley, during media days, when each player sat down, I noticed they all shared the same sentiment. There's a brotherhood, a togetherness, and a bond that feels different with this team. Can you sense that? And has that been the case for you as well? And has that translated to the football field?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think some of that is in reference to the previous question of Ryan's about, just having a roster that's a big chunk of it is guys that we brought in and have developed and a few transfers. I think the transfers and new guys that we've brought in, I think have really acclimated into this team really, really well. And I mean, I think it's something you always look at as a coach and you're trying to gauge like how cohesive are we, how together are we? And this one just from the beginning, and as some of the different things have unfolded throughout the off season, like kind of seeing how they've stuck together and the bond and camaraderie, there feels like a lot of that right now. Now, the season is the time when that gets tested the most. And like we've told guys, the season either pulls you apart or it brings you closer. And but it tests you more than any other time. So if that bond is as strong as we think it is, then we're getting ready to see it, strengthen here over the next few months. And if that happens, this group will be a really close group and it'll be really tough to beat.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach Riley. Thank you, media.